Hey guys, Jonah here back with another beer review, and we're going back, way back into the past because we are doing a beer from the Southwest Beer 52 box, which I believe was probably November's box or halfway through November. So these beers have been around for a while, and this beer is quite interesting because it's kind of like a charity type beer. And there's an article, The Path to Paradise. And if you see, oh, I got the wrong hand, giving you the finger there, but that is the beer we are talking about. Ding, ding, ding. Mile Maker Oat Pale Ale, which is paired up with the Southwest Coastal Path, which in total, it says in here, but my memory is absolutely rubbish, 630 miles of coastal pathway, which is 630. That's ridiculous. That's a good way up into Scotland, isn't it? I would have thought. It's just, yeah, 600 miles. It's proper. Anyhow, I'm not doing any walking today. We're going to drink this bad boy. So there it is again. Southwest Coastal Path versus Beer 52. New England style pale ale with oats. Um, Fragrant hop nose thanks to Citra and Simcoe. Pale straw in colour. The luscious hazy appearance, low carbonation, rounding out the palate, making it smooth and drinkable without being cloying. Nice. And this was a recipe done by, I don't know if he's in here, but it was done by one of the guys from Beer 52 called Carlos. And it was actually brewed at Wild Beer. Who are they around? Are they not around? What's happening with Wild Beer? Nobody seems to know. It's all up in the air, which is proper crazy. Anywho, if you do walk some of the path, you get to have amazing views like that, and that where the guy is walking is actually the path. So he's walking down there with his dog. Looks like, which is kind of cool. Nice photo. There's the stuff I've already said. And it's 4.5% on the ABV. I'm just looking at the ingredients. So malted barley, oats, wheat. It's got wheat in it as well. So that's always a good sign. There is actually something down here. So let's see what that says. Sun sea breeze and southern western swagger infuse this light, soft, juicy oatmeal pale ale. Wow, it's a mouthful. Brewed in collaboration with Southwest Coastal Path Association to celebrate Beer 52 sponsorship of the 1 mile of this route. I believe they actually did 5 miles in total. So 5 is a mere drop in the ocean out of 630. But 5 miles, that's not too bad in a day, especially when you're walking those kind of trails. This beer is best enjoyed at the end of a hike, preferably to the crash of waves against rocks. If you want to find out more, why not pause the video and scan that QR code? You can definitely have a look. Oh, it even says down there, Wild Beer, Shepton Mallet, which is over near Glastonbury, where the festival is held. So really cool. Yeah, I can honestly say today I haven't done that much walking around. I did do some walking at work, but does that count? It's not as bad as walking up and down hills and dales and all that kind of nonsense. Let us get this bad boy into a glass. We will see what we get. Lots of fizziness. I tell you what, I'll do a double thing. Look at that. You can see my head kind of through there, right? Very clear. But we do a bit of this action. I have got a feeling that there might be some haziness towards the end. Actually, not too much. we have got over finger's head, which is cool. It has, I don't know if you can see, it has gone a little bit hazier, but it's still quite bright, which is nice. Let us get this round the right way with the dog, the man and the dog, and the beer. We'll get it in focus and go, come on. And that, my dear viewer, will be the thumbnail on the front of this video. Have a look at that white fluffy head. That is like the white fluffy surf down on the southwest coast. We're talking about places like Cornwall, Somerset, Devon maybe, that sort of stuff. Dorset maybe, all the way around there. Don't know exactly where it ends. Depends if you want to do southwest or just south or southeast, which is where I'm from. This isn't. This is southwest, definitely. Wonder if Beer 52 will do a southeast, because there's plenty of breweries around here, lots of craft stuff as well. It is a bit fruity. It's a bit juicy as well. What were the hops? Was it Simcoe? I seem to remember Citra and Simcoe. Yeah, classic, a neo-classic combination of hops. I always think Simcoe gives a sort of juiciness, gives a kind of orangey kind of taste. Citra, for me, it's all about that grass, that hedgerow, that greenery. Fantastic hop to use. It is, as I've said before, the most well-grown hop in the whole of the world. So if you're not sure what's in your beer, the chances are there's probably some Citra in it somewhere. Cheers and beers, guys. Wow, that is quite light. It's a lot lighter than I thought it was going to be. There is some juiciness to it, juicy in a tropical way, which is nice. Not too much of the grassiness at all, which is a bit weird. Maybe we'll find some later down the glass, but at the moment I'm getting the juicy Simcoe. I'm getting a bit of creaminess too. It's like that kind of yeah, like a milkshakey type thing. It's not as thick as that, but it's just got that milk creaminess from the oats and the wheat mixed together. When you've got a nice juicy hop, surprisingly, it works quite well. But I was expecting this one to be a little bit more juicy than it is. Really pleasant, refreshing surprise. And this is called an oat pale ale. Mile Maker is the name. Ooh. We do have some very chunky, not so straight lines, but they are properly fat lines. They're sticking onto the glass, which for those people that like lacing and that kind of stuff, I actually quite like it. Okay, so maybe my taste buds are getting used to that kind of, I say orange, but in this case it's more sort of maybe tropical peach, maybe mango type. I mean, it's definitely juicy as well, so maybe that mango's not the right one. A sort of juicy tropical fruit, not quite a pineapple. Very mellow, I have to say. I am beginning to get the kind of grassy stuff, maybe a little bit of that hedgerow, but not much. I would imagine that they've used the Citra, especially in the kind of bittering and early hops, and maybe not so much in the dry hop or the late finish in the whirlpool, that kind of stuff. Did it say dry hopped? I can't remember. I think it just said Hopped? No, thanks to the additions of Citra and Simcoe. So it doesn't say that's the only hops used here. But yeah, I'd be surprised if they'd use Citra as dry hopping or as whirlpool additions. Maybe they have. But yeah, there's just a hint of hedgerow and sort of, if you're walking by the sea, you get those weird sort of tufty plants that they're the ones that like it by the sea. It's not grass over there. It's these weird sort of, you fall over on it, it's a bit spongy, sometimes a bit spiky, those sort of plants. So in this instance, maybe that's what the greenery is. Am I also getting sea salt in the air and, a sunburnt face? I love living by the sea. Oh, very, very similar. That beer was very consistent from the first sip to the last, which is something unusual because usually, um, yeah, my last sip has usually got different flavors from the first, but that was remarkably consistent the whole way down. And that beer has been sitting around for like four months. So you would have thought anything would have dropped out. And you saw me, I did give it a bit of a shake, and that was on purpose. I don't usually do that, although some beer reviewers do, purely to get that sediment up into suspension and make sure it goes in the glass. Something perhaps with more sort of vice beers and that type of thing. Um, but I knew that beer had been sitting around for a while, so I wanted to get everything moving in the glass. But yeah, that was Mile Maker. I keep thinking it's Mile Marker, but no, there's no R in it apart from at the end. Mile Maker, dun, 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 which was brewed by Wild Beer. It's their oat pale ale. Really, really nice beer. I would say that is, yeah, interesting style. Well, it's kind of a bit like a sort of Nipah, but as a pale ale. So it's backed off with the ABV Session Nipah, but it's not an IPA, it's a pale ale. It's really well named, I have to say. I've got no complaints. I'm just trying to get you to kind of think about it. It's not very strong in the ABV, but it doesn't have to be. That was a really nice beer. I quite enjoyed that one. Um, Unfortunately, the Southwest beer box is not one that I'm doing a beer of the month comparison, because I have to write things down, because as we all know, when we get old you start forgetting your own name and stuff. So how can I remember beers over over probably 3 weeks to a month? I've got no chance in remembering what scores I give it. That one I reckon is a good 4 out of 5, and it's such a shame that Wild Beer are no more. I really hope that Curious Brew, which is just down the road from me, actually in Ashford, um, and if you ever come out this way to the southeast, Ashford is definitely worth a stop at. There's some really nice bars there. Low Key is one to have a look out for. They've got some proper stuff in there. But you can also go to the Curious Brewery, and your other half can go shopping at the out of town. Well, it's a sort of discount shopping center complex weird thing. Really good actually if you like that sort of thing. But I always think you don't save that much money if you go to those places. But hey, like I say, I'm getting old these days. Anyway, almost at 15 minutes in, tis my time. Oh dear, my time to say goodbye to you, dear viewer. Please come back next time. If you want to subscribe, fantastic, much appreciated. And if you want to help out even more, please click like to this video. It really does help out. And we will see you real soon for more beer, more Unclejona wrongness, and who knows what's going to happen. Cheers and beers, guys. We'll see you real soon.